Supreme Commander is changing for the better in DC Dark Legion, and I want to share with you a couple of updates we received through a patch note yesterday. I'm going to save you the 1 hour long Supreme Commander video that I did with Sekju a few weeks ago, but definitely go back and watch that video if you need a refresher on how Supreme Commander works in general. But there are a couple of specific things that they've changed with Supreme Commander starting this week. The first thing is there are going to be new stage rounds. So previously, we had 3 stage rounds, and at the end of the 3rd stage round, you get a couple of magic eyes to complete it. Now they've added a 4th stage where you're going to be able to obtain a handful of additional magic eyes by hitting certain milestones up to about 100,000 points. We'll take a look at that in the actual game mode momentarily. The other thing that they've done is they've added some new point missions. So a big complaint from some of the pre-global launch players, some of the players that are on servers 200 through 205, is that some of the rounds are becoming a little bit more difficult to complete because we don't have enough research to do, or we have way too many champions that are super high stars. So it's kind of starting to become almost impossible to acquire points in some of the Supreme Commander days. What they've done here is, and we'll talk about whether this is enough, but they've added quantum components and fire pit afterburners to a couple of the stages. In addition to those 2 changes, they've also made some adjustments to the point missions. First thing, and I would say this one is fairly big too, especially for probably whales who are able to get a lot of these, but they have made it where the Mythic Legacy Piece evolution missions now include the exclusive, or what I call unique, legacy pieces. And then we had this big issue with the tech research queue that was added to the game where people were able to exploit it. And basically you were able to get an infinite point glitch where you could add something to the research queue, it would count the points towards your Supreme Commander, and then you could just cancel the queue and start over. And they were able to patch that. What they've done is they've made it where tech that's added to the research queue is going to allow you to earn points based on the actual number of chips consumed when the research begins. So you definitely want to make sure you're watching that. You don't want to queue a bunch of stuff up thinking you're going to get points for it. You want to make sure that you are considering which research is going to give you the most points and then queue that up to begin with. They do say that missions have been adjusted for better balance in certain stages, so we'll take a look at that and see if we can figure that out. And then they've also said that there are going to be better rewards for your overall ranking at the end of the event. So we'll jump over into Supreme Commander. Let's take a look at rankings and we'll go to rewards. So for overall, you can see clearly here that they've definitely buffed up the amount of magic eyes that you're able to get. So these 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place finishers are going to get a ton more magic eyes. And it looks like overall, most of the lower rankings are a bit unchanged. But I do appreciate the fact that the higher level players should be getting a few additional magic eyes, and it's definitely going to incentivize spending. The nice thing that I mentioned, you can see here that once you get past 50,000 points, you're going to have a few additional targets that you can hit, and you're going to be able to get magic eyes for those. We can go into get more. Looks like the points earned for the 1st stage is relatively the same. For 2nd stage, it's still going to be mother boxes and world anvil fragments. For the 3rd stage, this is where things change a bit. So everything is the same here, except you are going to be able to use your quantum components, as I mentioned, to upgrade apocalypse level, and then you can use those fire pit afterburners to enhance your vehicles, and you're going to be getting a substantial amount of points here. So 450 points per quantum component used, and then 2,700 points per fire pit afterburner that you use. In stage 4, everything appears to be the same. Now, I think this stage still needs some help. Clearly, they're giving us a lot of points for the things that we're able to upgrade, but just keep in mind that if you're at the very end of, acquiring a lot of these mythics and you've already upgraded all of your legendaries, it's probably going to start getting difficult for you to earn points here unless you're spending a decent amount on the game and you're able to use a lot of anvils. So again, just keep that in mind. Free-to-play players late stage in the game are probably going to start feeling it most here. So I'm hoping maybe they'll consider adding something else to this stage like they've done with stage 3 and 5. Like I said, you can go over to stage 5 and you'll see that they have included the quantum components and the fire pit afterburners here. It's going to be a discount on point acquisition similar to all of the other items that you can spend here, but you will be able to use them on this stage. I think effectively adding the quantum components to stage 3 and 5 is going to make it a lot easier to avoid spending things like your champion shards on day 5. So it's definitely going to make it a lot easier to complete days 3 and 5. And overall, I think it's a positive change for the event. The other thing we were looking for, I don't really see much of a difference here. Obviously, I've already completed day 1, so I can't take you through those stages and show you exactly what the figures are right now. I'm sure somebody will have this solved in the next couple of days, but I'm assuming they're saying that the target points, that each target that you hit is going to give you a few extra resources from what you were able to get before. So definitely let me know down in the comments if anybody's already sorted this out. If you have a link to that, I'd love to take a look. That's it for this video. I just wanted to give you a quick update on what they changed here. I definitely think it will be significant for a decent amount of players. It's going to be a felt change. It's going to be quite helpful as well. You definitely want to start saving up those quantum components and only using them once a week, and making sure that you're using them on a day that it makes sense for your point acquisition in Supreme Commander. Hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.